Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Moore. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And welcome to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. Today, we are going to talk about what are called gray Jedi, and why I do not believe that any such Jedi can exist. Okay, let's begin by defining our terms. A gray Jedi is the hypothetical concept of a Force user who walks the line between the dark and light side of the Force. Or someone who embraces both the dark and light side of the Force. Now, gray Jedi is an idea from the old Star Wars legends that has not been made canon. Some fans would like it to be canon, and other fans have said that if they were Jedi, they would like to be gray Jedi. Now, let us further explore this idea. Some fans have believed that Jedi who are mavericks like Qui-Gon Jinn are gray Jedi because he did not fully follow the dogma of the Jedi Order. And I'm going to discuss to you why I do not believe Qui-Gon Jinn is a gray Jedi, and also why I don't believe that someone who breaks the Jedi dogma is necessarily a gray Jedi. I'm going to explain that first, and then we'll take a break and we'll talk about why I do not believe that gray Jedi can exist. Okay, first off, Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn, to me, is one of the most interesting Star Wars characters because he decided to follow his own path as opposed to the dogma of the Jedi. Now, let me explain. I believe that part of the Star Wars prequel trilogy is a cautionary tale about the problems of institutions. The Jedi Order, when it was instated and begun long, long ago in October, was to preserve the balance in the galaxy. The natural balance between light and dark. I've explained this before. Luke explains this to Rey. The Force is balance, and there is a natural balance in the order of the universe between life and death, heat and cold, violence and peace. That is part of the natural order, and the Jedi are to guard that. Now, as the Jedi Order went on, they became increasingly dogmatic and hidebound with rules. This was the downfall of the Jedi. They were so caught up in rules, regulations, following guidelines, that they were no longer doing their job as guardians of peace and justice. Now, don't get me wrong, their hearts were in the right place, but all their rules were preventing them from truly doing what they should be doing. Qui-Gon Jinn, I believe, is a Jedi closer to what the Jedi should be, which is basically saying, screw the rules. I'm going to do what I know I'm being guided to do by the light side of the Force. Now, I believe that being unorthodox to the dogma does not make you a gray Jedi. I believe that Qui-Gon was merely the type of guy who went, you know what? I need to get back to basically get back to basics of being a Jedi. Qui-Gon sensed that Anakin was the chosen one when the council was skeptical. Qui-Gon was willing to break the rule and train Anakin, even if the Jedi Council didn't allow it. Because I think Qui-Gon knew that this was the chosen one. Qui-Gon followed his heart, followed the Force. And I think if the Jedi had not been so hidebound or bound by the rules, then maybe they would not have been destroyed. So those are my thoughts on why Qui-Gon Jinn is not a gray Jedi, and I do not believe that gray Jedi is the term for those who don't follow the rules entirely. Now, this may be a question of semantics, but Qui-Gon did not embrace the dark side, no. He embraced the Force the way that the Jedi did. But he also cared more about what the Force was telling him than what the rules were telling him. Let me compare this really quick to my religious beliefs. In my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there are policies, there are regulations, there are the way we do things in the church. But the truth is, all the policies and regulations are okay. But if my focus were on all those rules and regulations, my heart might be led away from the core of my faith, which is my faith in Jesus Christ. It's similar to the Jedi. If I were to get so caught up in the rules that my faith got taken away, like what I mean is if I were more focused on the rules, on the policies than I was on Jesus, then that would be wrong. It's like that with the Jedi. Qui-Gon focused on the core of the Jedi tenets, where his heart should be, where the Jedi should be, not on all these dogmatic rules. And that is why Qui-Gon Jinn is not a gray Jedi. Okay, we're going to take a break to hear about Anchor. And when we come back, we'll talk about why I do not believe in the gray Jedi. See you in a minute. Hello there, this is Brennan Marr, host of Page Turners They Were Not, a Star Wars podcast. And I'm here to tell you about Anchor. Anchor is the best way to make a podcast. Why is that? Well, first off, it's free. Yes, you heard me right. Anchor is free. Anchor has all the tools you need to make a podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you on various platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money from your podcast. And get this, with no minimum listenership. That means you can make money even if no one listens to your podcast. That, of course, is not ideal, as Anchor will allow you to spread your podcast, bring in more viewers, and you can make more money because of it. Everything you need to make a podcast is in one place on Anchor. If you're interested, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you, and may the Force be with you. Okay, we are back. Now, the term gray Jedi may be a matter of semantics. Now, the gray Jedi, as understood by the fan, is either someone who walks the fine line between the light and the dark side, or someone who embraces the light side and the dark side. Now, as I said, the Jedi are meant to be the guardians of balance. Though, to be fair, that's only my own opinion. So, in a sense, the Jedi are supposed to maintain the natural order, the natural balance between light and dark that exists in the universe. Now, I can understand why a fan might say, I want to be a gray Jedi because the Jedi Order has too many stupid rules. That's a fair point. But as I explained with Qui-Gon Jinn, not following the dogma, or if you choose not to get stuck in the dogma, that doesn't mean you're not a Jedi. You can still be a Jedi and not follow all the dogmatic rules. I think that's why some fans like the idea of the gray Jedi, because they like the idea of not being controlled by the rules. But I don't believe the Jedi Order is bad. I believe that they kind of drifted away from the core of their doctrine and needed to reset. Okay, that being said, I do not believe that it is possible for a person to embrace the light side and the dark side of the Force. Or, to be more specific, to use light side powers and dark side powers and still be good. I don't believe that that's possible. Let me explain why. The powers of the light side of the Force that we see are in harmony with the balance. The light side is for knowledge, defense, healing, wisdom, meditation. Those powers do not disrupt the balance. The dark side does disrupt the balance. What are the dark side powers we've seen? Force choke, force lightning, mind rape, trying to cheat death, transfer essence or whatever, drain life, as we saw Palpatine use. These powers are not in keeping with the balance of the Force. Because dark side powers disrupt the balance. They disrupt the natural order. They cause injury and harm. I do not see how anyone could use those powers and still claim that they're a good guy. I just don't see how it's possible. Now, I believe that most fans, when they want to be gray Jedi, I don't think that they mean that they want to go and use dark side powers. I think they're looking at it more as we don't want to follow the rules of the Jedi Order. But like I explained, the rules don't make the Jedi a bad thing. The rules just mean the Jedi Order as an institution lost its way and needed a reset. We see that in a lot of churches. In my own church, we see that. Right now, there is a concerted effort by leaders and members of my church to get rid of all the policies, folklore, dogma, false doctrine, on and on and on, that are taking people away from Jesus. And I think that there are a lot of churches that are doing the same thing, changing their focus, because they realize that over the years, as an institution, they have gotten lost in dogma and we're losing the core of what their churches were all about. That is why in my church they discourage the use of the term Mormon or LDS, because that is not whose church we believe it is. We believe it is the Church of Jesus Christ. So the Jedi were doing the same thing. They needed to clean out all that dogma, and they didn't, and that's why they were destroyed. And Qui-Gon Jinn is not a gray Jedi, because I don't believe that a gray Jedi... I don't believe gray Jedi exist, and B, I don't believe that Qui-Gon is a gray Jedi, because you can disagree with the council, disagree with the dogma, follow your own path, and still be a Jedi Knight. So I hope this has made sense, but those are my thoughts on the matter. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And thank you for tuning in to Fates Turn As They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.